Assalamu alaikum. It's Ifsah and Novaira with another two stories to share with you.
Assalamu alaikum.
We're almost at the end of Ramadan, which means next week it will be Eid. I hope you all have fun, even though it might not be the same as our usual celebrations. You could still have a good time with your family.
I hope you've all made the most of this Ramadan and done some extra good deeds. One of the last 10 nights of Ramadan is Laylatul Qadr, which is the night of power.
On these nights, you can recite some Quran, make dua, learn more about Islam, and even ask for forgiveness. Okay, so the first story is called
The Story of Two Gardens. Long, long ago, there lived two friends. One of them was a rich gardener, while the other one was a poor farmer. The gardener owned a huge plot of land. He cultivated his land very ably and developed it into two beautiful and blooming gardens. They were full of flowers and all kinds of fruits, especially grapes and dates. The vineyards were set about with palm trees and watered by a running stream. Whenever the gardener would visit his gardens, he would be thrilled by seeing trees laden with ripe fruits. His heart would be filled with pride and arrogance. He would think this was all a result of his hard work and clever planning. He would ignore the fact that his entire fortune was actually a blessing from Allah. Without Allah's help, no one can achieve a single thing on this earth. One day, his friend, the poor farmer, visited him. The gardener took him around his beautiful garden and proudly said to him, "I am richer than you, and my clan is mightier than yours." Looking at his gardens, he continued, "Surely this will never perish." Puffed up with the evil of wealth, he went on denying the day of judgment, "Nor do I believe that the hour of doom will ever come." Then he added, "Even if I return to my Lord, I shall surely find a better place than this." Little did he realize that all this was wishful thinking. When the poor farmer noticed that his friend was behaving in a wicked way, he tried to correct him. He added, "Have you no faith in him who created you from dust, from a little germ, and fashioned you into a man?" The poor man went on, "As for myself, Allah is my Lord, and I will associate no one else with him." He advised the gardener that instead of entering the garden proudly, he should have gone into it all humility and should have said, "What Allah has ordained must surely come to pass. There is no strength except in Allah. Though you see me poorer than yourself and blessed with fewer children," the farmer argued, "yet my Lord may give me a garden better than yours, and send down thunderbolts from the heaven upon your vineyards, turning them into a barren waste, or drain their water deep down into the earth, so that you will get no benefit from it." The very next day was struck by calamity. All the fruits were destroyed. The gardener wrung his hands with grief at all that he had spent on them, for the vines had stumbled down upon their trellises. On seeing this, he realized his mistake and cried, Would that I had served no other gods beside my Lord." This story is meant to teach believers never to speak proudly, but to say in all humility, "Whatever Allah has ordained must surely come to pass. There is no power save with Allah."
Thank you, Novaira. The moral of this story is that everything you have is given to us by Allah, so we should be grateful for it. And remember, if we become too prideful, it can be taken away from us.
So we should turn to Allah and thank Him for all He has given us. Instead of flaunting what you have to those who aren't as lucky as you, like the gardener did, you could be more humble and maybe share what you have with them.
All in all, we should be thankful for our successes, but try not to look down on others if they aren't as fortunate as we are. The next story is about Prophet Hud alayhi salam, and it's called
The Prophet Hud alayhi salam and the Storm. The Prophet Hud alayhi salam was one of the earliest prophets was sent by Allah to the people of Ad. According to the commentators of the Quran, the Prophet Hud salam was the first person to speak Arabic. He is buried on a hillock in Hadramaut, where his tomb is still visited, about 90 miles north of Mulka in Yemen. The Ad people were descendants of Iram, one of the grandsons of Prophet Nuh salam. Along with the other followers of the Prophet Nuh salam, their forefathers had settled in ancient Yemen. The Ad people were very rich. They were known as the people of many-columned city of Iran. At first, they followed the religion of the Prophet Nuh salam, but when they began to prosper, they fell into bad ways. Then Allah chose the Prophet Hud salam from among themselves to warn them as a sincere and trustworthy advisor. The Prophet Hud salam told them, "Serve Allah, my people. You have no God but Him. The other notions you have are all false. My people, say you are sorry to your Lord and ask Him to forgive you. He will send you plenty of rain from the sky. He will add strength to your strength. Do not turn away from Him with wrongdoing." But the elders of the tribe rejected him, calling him a foolish man and a liar. Hud salam went on to assure them, "O my people, I am not a simpleton. I am a messenger from the Lord of the worlds. I am to make known His will and to give you an honest counsel. Do you think it strange that a warning should come to you from your Lord through a human being like yourselves?" But the people of Ad continued to sin. They said, "Hud, you have given us no clear proof. We will not forsake our gods just because you say so, nor will we believe in you." The Prophet Hud salam continued to warn them. "You build strong fortresses, hoping that you may last forever. When you exercise your power, you act like cruel tyrants. Fear Allah and follow me." They would proudly say, "Who is mightier than us?" And puffed up with pride and feeling that they were greater than everyone else, they went on denying the word of Allah. As a result, Allah willed that a terrible drought befall the land. Plants and trees withered and died, and the animals had no water to drink. Many months went by, and still it had not rained. They then had to suffer a 3-year famine, but they still paid no heed. Even when Allah sent His torment in the form of a black cloud, all they said was, "Here is a passing cloud that will give us rain." Finally, a terrible blast of wind destroyed the wrongdoers and their land, and when morning came, there was nothing to be seen but their ruined houses. And so a howling and violent gale, which Allah let loose on them for 7 nights and 8 days in a row, destroyed them as though they had been the hollow trunks of palm trees. The lesson of the story is that one should not lose one's humility if one becomes successful. One should give all the credit for one's feat to the blessing of Allah. In not doing so, one's success could be ruined in the same way as the great homes of the people of Ad were destroyed by the great storms sent by Allah.
Thanks, Novaira. What did you learn from this story?
I learned that arrogance is very harmful for yourself and those around you.
So we shouldn't be arrogant because what we have is a blessing from Allah. So we should try our hardest to be thankful. No matter what situation we're in, we should thank Allah because everything He does is for a reason. If we look at the example in the story, the people's houses were destroyed to teach them a lesson.
The Prophet Muhammad once said, "He who has in his heart the weight of a mustard seed of pride shall not enter paradise." So we should be thankful for what we have and always remember Allah.
Thank you. We've enjoyed this experience sharing stories with you throughout Ramadan, and we hope you've enjoyed it and learned something from it too.
Assalamu alaikum.